What is your actual experience? Do you have any? Do you know any middleware technologies or hello?
Yes, sir. In MQ, sir. On MQ.
You are working on MQ.
Yes, sir.
WebSphere MQ.
Yes, sir. WebSphere MQ, sir.
Okay, as an administrator.
Yes, sir. Administrator, MQ administrator.
Okay, you are looking for?
Sorry, sir.
Actually, you are looking for which course?
MQ, sir. Actually, in VAS also.
No, you are looking for which course? WebSphere MQ series administration or application server administration?
MQ series administrator, sir.
Okay, you are looking for WebSphere. Yeah, tell me.
Yes, sir. WebSphere MQ administrator, sir.
You are looking for WebSphere MQ administration.
Yes, sir.
Not application server.
Yes, sir. And actually, I want to some knowledge about on VAS. That's why I'm learning this course.
No, presently you are working. You are working or not working?
Actually, now I'm working, sir. I'm just learner, sir.
So you are
Actually,
learner.
yes, sir. I'm completed 2 months back. Completed that course, MQ course.
Okay.
Some of my brothers said about learn about VAS also. That's why I'm learning.
Now you are looking for application server, right?
Yes, sir.
Or WebSphere MQ administration.
WebSphere application server, sir.
So where you learn WebSphere MQ?
Sir?
Where you learn WebSphere MQ?
In online, sir. Trainer name is Madhu. He's working on IBM, sir.
Okay. So what is your qualification?
BTech CSC Computer Science.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge about the web applications?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Which stream you are into the BTech?
Computer Science. I know a little bit about applications, but not about WebSphere application servers.
No, I am not asking about the WebSphere application servers. Web applications.
Yes, sir. I know, sir. I know a little bit, sir.
So what are the web applications?
Everything is application, like any interface, like sites.
Yeah. Day to day we are using, right?
Yes, sir.
www from facebook.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay. facebook.com. Or you may have some bank account, iccibank.com. Okay. Or
Okay,
you may have some Gmail account, gmail.com. Okay. So
okay, sir.
all these are the web applications.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, okay. So these middleware in the middleware application. So whenever we are talking about the middleware products, okay. So here we have a WebSphere application server, WebSphere, WebLogic, and JBoss. Okay. So these are the market leading middleware products. Okay. Either basically WebSphere application server, WebSphere application server, or WebLogic application server, or JBoss application server. These three itself Java based Java programs. Means using Java, WebSphere is from the IBM, WebLogic is from the Oracle, JBoss is from the Red Hat. These organizations are using Java and implementing, they build up a WebSphere application servers. Basically, these are the application servers itself a Java program. Okay, so the primary functionality is just providing runtime environment. So environment runtime environment to an enterprise application. An enterprise application, or we can call it as a sub web application. Okay, providing runtime environment or you can call it the infrastructure to an enterprise application. So the enterprise application examples, either you can take Facebook or ICICI Bank, Gmail.com, Yahoo.com, all these are the web applications. Okay, so here, so most of the organizations, they were deploying their applications on the WebSphere, any of these middleware products, either WebSphere or WebLogic or JBoss. Okay, so can we manage without any of these middleware application servers? Okay, for example, I don't have any middleware application servers. So can I manage my applications, web applications without middleware application servers? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Sorry?
No, sir.
Can I manage my web applications without middleware products? Okay, so yes or no means yes, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult. Okay, it is very difficult. So why it is very difficult? Basically, who will develop the web application? Developer will develop, right? Developer will develop the web application. Okay, so developer will develop the web application. Okay, so okay, here we don't have any web application, the middleware application servers. For example, I have a web application called it as a some bank.com or facebook.com. Who will use this web application? Basically, customers of the bank or employees of the bank or partners of the bank, they were using, right? So whenever they were using, so it has to be interact with the backend database for authentication and authorization, right?
Yes, sir.
Over the network. So if we don't have any middleware applications or application server, if my web application want to interact with the database, it requires one mechanism called it as a JDBC to interact with the database. So I don't have any middleware application. Developer has to implement a piece of code, and he has to include in the web application, right? So this is the additional responsibility. He has to develop the web application, same time he has to implement the JDBC functionality, and he has to include it in the web application. So this is one functionality. So here web application is interacting with the database over the network, right? Okay. So over the network it is interacting means, so maybe for example you are using Facebook. So from your machine you are logging, right? You are given the user ID and password. But Facebook servers are where it is resided, some California, somewhere Washington, some DC, something somewhere, right? So your data, user ID and password, whenever you are logging, the data is moving over the network, right? Their servers. So security is very important aspect. So in the security itself, we have a 3 types. What are those? What are the security topics you learned in WebSphere Enclave?
SSL,
Yeah, SSL.
OAM security.
Sorry.
OAM security, sir. Object Authority Model.
What he explained OEM security?
Object Authority Model.
Hmm?
Object Authority Model.
In that, what are the topics he explained, Madhu?
Actually, sir skipped that concept, sir. We explain later. Security concept and unload utility concept.
What are the topics he covered?
Total concepts are clustering concept, multi hoping concepts, red letter queue, triggering concepts, clustering concepts, basics.
Cluster overlapping?
Sorry, sir.
Cluster overlapping?
Yes, sir. And he explained about basic clustering and multi-clustering. I mean, how two clusters are communicate with each other through gateway and basic clustering. And the two concepts he explained about.
Okay. So security, it is authentication, authorization, and SSL. So these three are into the 3 different programs. Okay. So authentication is one kind of mechanism, authorization is one kind of mechanism, then authorization is one kind of mechanism, SSL is one kind of mechanism. Okay. So these three are into the 3 different mechanisms. So again, developer has to implement these functionalities and include in the web application. Okay. Like this, security is provided, but the data is communicating over the network, right? We require the okay, for failover also we have to implement the some piece of code, right? So like workload distribution, okay, workload distribution, okay. So like application management, application management, then user manage user management, then troubleshooting, troubleshooting. So whenever any organization planning to provide web services through web application, okay, so okay,
Okay.
they have to look into all these things, okay,
Okay.
okay, and the monitoring, okay,
Okay.
monitoring. So all these are the mandatory functionalities. So if we don't have any web middleware application servers, we have to implement all these functionalities and we have to include these functionalities in the web application. So as you are aware, most of them are not familiar into the different languages. Most of them they were familiar in the core Java, but they doesn't know the advanced Java, right? So all these are into the different application programs. Okay.
Okay.
So in the developer point of view, it is very difficult to implement all these things. Okay. For example, if you are going to implement all these functionalities, okay, the lines of code will be increased. Okay, lines of code also comes into the cost. Okay, so if any kind of problem issue arises, so who will support the issue? Okay, so that is the reason in a developer point of view, okay, it is very difficult.
Okay.
But we can manage without any middleware product, but developing these functionalities is very difficult. That is the reason all these functionalities who will provide, either WebSphere application server or WebLogic application server or JBoss application server are providing. So developer will develop only simple web application. The web application will be deployed on these application servers. Application server will provide the runtime environment, means all these are comes under the runtime environment or infrastructure. Okay.
Okay.
So develop administrator will deploy the application into this middleware application server and providing connectivity, security, failover mechanism, workload distribution. So all these are the up to database connectivity, security, failover, workload distribution, one-time configuration. Okay. For example, security, you want to buy some certificate. So certificate, when certificate valid is down the line 2 to 3 years they are buying. They won't buy 2 months period, 3 months period. Organization they brought the certificates down the line 2 years and 3 years period. Okay. So this SSL you may have involved in the once in a while, means in a year or twice. Okay. But day to day is the only monitoring, some types of troubleshooting, mostly troubleshooting. Just if you restart, most of the 99% of issues will be resolved. The issue, when we are talking about issues also, we are not getting that much of issues. Okay. So these are the servers are high end server. Okay. So it support high volume and high volume, highly provide highly scalable environment. Okay. So so as the administrator, we have to provide this configure these functionalities, and we have to monitor and we have to troubleshoot the in application infrastructure as a middleware administrator. Okay. So day to day is mostly it is into the administration, monitoring only deployment activity, means application updation. Okay. That is into the day to day you have in the development environment, but it is into the production environment you may have into weekends or non-business hours. That too, that is into the only monthly, maybe monthly once or twice only. So every day they won't change any application functionality, or every day they won't add any new application. Okay. So okay, whenever there is a change in application functionality or there is a change in application, how to update the application, means we are removing, deploying, undeploying, removing the existing application, and now we are updating the new application. Okay. So that is called it as a deployment, installation and uninstallation of the application. So mostly we are doing deployment and monitoring and troubleshooting. So remaining this security, failover, all these are into the one-time configurations. Okay. So in the when we are talking about this application server also, present version I am dealing with the 8.5 version on Linux system. Okay. So okay, the latest version is the 8.5.5 version. Okay. So I am going through 8.5 version on Linux environment. Okay. Basically in the WebSphere application server you have a 3 versions. One is the Express, this is the free version. Okay. Then we have a base version, this is also like Express, but this one you have to pay the license. Okay. So the third one is the network deployment. Okay. This is called it as a network deployment ND. So this will support the high volume, highly scalable environment. Most of the organizations they are using this ND. So this is the standalone environment, means you are not providing any high availability solution. Okay.
Okay.
So as a WebSphere application server admin or a middleware admin, okay, we have installation and configuration of the this infrastructure is the one-time activity. Maybe you are getting the new servers. That time you may involve in the installation and configuration, but most of the time we have to work in the so monitoring and the troubleshooting part and the application deployment. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the very difficult to manage. That is the reason. So these are the middleware servers will providing. So in this middleware application server also we have a various types of environments. Okay. So those we will discuss on sessions. Okay. So I think basic architecture you know. Okay. Any web application will get a request from the browser. Okay. So from the browser, how many types of request will get? We have a web server. Okay. So there are two types of request. One is the static and another one is the dynamic. Then it comes into the application server. Okay, here business logic will be executed. Okay. Then it has been interact with the database. So in the application server itself, okay, you have a web container, you have a HTTP transport, you have a web container, UJB container, web services engine, messages engine. All these are things you are having the application server. So the two types of one is static and dynamic. Static will be responded from the web server itself, basic HTML pages and images. Dynamic will be forwarded to the application server. The business logic will be executed at the application server. In the application server, we have a embedded HTTP transport, web container and EJB container. Then we have a web services engine, messages engines. Then after that it will interact with the database. Okay. So this is the flow we are doing here. So installation, application server creation, and web server installation, integration, providing security between the browser and the web server, and application server security, integration with the database, and we are working with the clustering for workload distribution and high availability purpose. Then we are working with the application management, user management, troubleshooting, and the day-to-day monitoring activities. Okay, so we will go through on sessions. Okay, you have any doubts?
No, sir.
If you have any doubts, ask me. You are from Telugu or any other language?
No, sir. Telugu, sir.
చెప్పండి, మీకు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి.
No, sir. JDBC security, these are concepts in WebSphere application server, troubleshooting, monitoring, application management.
ఇవన్నీ కూడా అందులోనే వస్తాయి. JDBC అంటే ఇది కనెక్టివిటీ అనమాట డేటాబేస్కి. ఫ్రమ్ అప్లికేషన్ సర్వర్ టు డేటాబేస్, హౌ యూఆర్ ఎస్టాబ్లిషింగ్ ఏ కనెక్టివిటీ. ఓకే
ఓకే.
సో సెక్యూరిటీ అంటే బ్రౌజర్ నుంచి, ఇప్పుడు బ్రౌజర్ నుంచి వస్తుంది కదా, మీకు ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ బ్రౌజర్ నుంచి వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, ఇప్పుడు HTTPS ఉంది కదా, ఎస్ అంటే సెక్యూరిటీ అనమాట. సెక్యూర్ అంటే మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చిన డేటాను యూజర్ ఐడి పాస్వర్డ్ అనేది ఎన్క్రిప్ట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. మీరు ఇక్కడ సమ్ యూజర్ ఐడి పాస్వర్డ్ ఇచ్చారు అంటే ఇప్పుడు డేటా ఏమవుతుంది, నా సిస్టమ్, ఇప్పుడు నేను ఎక్కడున్నాను, నా నెట్వర్క్లో హైదరాబాద్లో ఉన్నాను. సో యాహూ సర్వర్ మేబీ ఎక్కడైనా ఉండొచ్చు, సింగపూర్లో ఉండొచ్చు, జపాన్లో ఉండొచ్చు, యూఎస్లో ఉండొచ్చు. సో వాడు డేటాబేస్కి ఎక్కడైనా హిట్ కావాలి కదా, ఫస్ట్ నాకు లాగిన్ కావాలంటే. సో ఓవర్ ద నెట్వర్క్ డేటా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు ఈ HTTPS ఉంటే సో నేను ఇచ్చిన డేటా ఎన్క్రిప్ట్ అయ్యి వెళ్తుంది అనమాట. ఓకే
ఓకే.
సో ఎస్ లేదనుకోండి ఎవరు యూజ్ చేయరు. సో నేను ఇక్కడ SES యూజరు SES పాస్వర్డ్ ఇచ్చాననుకోండి, నెట్వర్క్లో కూడా సేమ్ అట్లానే అవుతుంది. సో అప్పుడు ఎవరైనా లాగిన్ అయిపోవచ్చు కదా యూజర్ ఐడి పాస్వర్డ్ యూజ్ చేసి. ఓకే, సో అంటే సెక్యూరిటీ అదనమాట HTTPS అంటే. ఓకే
ఓకే.
సో ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
No, sir. Sir, your way of speaking is very fastly. కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్గా మాట్లాడుతున్నా సార్, కొంచెం స్లోగా, అంటే కొంచెం వాయిస్ క్లమ్జీ అవుతుంది.
అంటే సెషన్లో స్లోగా వెళ్తుంది. సో ఇది డెమో కదా.
ఓకే సార్, నార్మల్గా చెప్తున్నాను సార్.
అర్థమైందా టాపిక్స్ ఎందుకు వాడుతున్నాం?
అర్థమైంది సార్.
పబ్లిష్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ మెకానిజం గురించి ఏం చేశారు ఎంపీలో? పబ్లిష్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ మెకానిజం
డిస్కస్ చేయాలి.
మరి ఏం చెప్పారు మీకు?
టాపిక్ అయితే డిస్కస్ చేయాలి సార్.
ఏ సరే మరి అయితే ఓకే. డౌట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా?
నో సార్.
సరే అయితే ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి.
నో సార్.
ఓకే.